Hi, I'm Vic Bearcroft. The other day I was visiting the Wildlife Heritage Foundation, a big cat sanctuary near Ashford in Kent. And what visit to a big cat sanctuary would be complete without that most regal of cats, the lion. And this lion in the photograph actually did a very regal pose for us, which is the subject of our painting. Now what I've done is initially sketched out in very soft pencil the outline on the velour paper. Now you can do this either freehand, you can grid it up, or you can enlarge your reference and use trace down paper, which works equally well. After we've done our initial pencil sketch, what we need to do is create a more definite outline using pastels. The pastel I'm going to use for this is a hard pastel made by Conte, and if we use the corners of the pastel, the sharpest bits, we can actually create quite a substantial outline which will be the basis for all our colour work to go on the top. So we'll start around the head, just sketching in initially the dark shadows in the fur. This beautiful lion mane will have a lot of dark shadows in it, and that's what gives it the shape essentially. So just keep the lines nice and sketchy, don't do anything too hard, too solid, otherwise you'll lose the fur texture effect. Notice you'll have to also stroke in the direction of the fur, so in this case we're going up and around, and then we come down to the head. We've got a nice sort of centre parting or centre crease down the forehead where the fur separates, so get that little line in first. That will help give the expression for the lion as well. And then we'll carefully sketch in our eyes. Eyes are the most important feature, so be careful, keep referring back to your photograph. And then we have a few little defining marks for the eyebrows above the eyes, below the eyes, and around the muzzle. And then we can get a nice sharp edge to the nose, which on cats is like a heart shape. So try to imagine a heart shape and the cupid bows for the nostrils, and then you're there. A simple little line down the centre of the nose which runs down to the top of the mouth, and then a couple of little lines going down which gives you the expression. Then we'll pop in a few little whisker lines. Again, if you treat these right and curve them around, that will automatically give you the shape of the muzzle. We have a few little soft shadows around here which define the shape of the face, so we'll get those in. And then finally some darker fur coming out of the chin, and then our face is complete. So all we need to do now is carry on getting these darker shadow areas of that gorgeous, thick, long mane. Use your photo for guidance. Don't try to slavishly copy every single shadow that you see, but use it for guidance, mainly for length of fur and the direction. These are the two most important aspects when you're painting fur, is the length and the direction. Try to recreate that shaggy look by using wavy lines and sketchy lines here and there. Now, all these lines you're drawing now will be visible through the subsequent layers of colour. You won't lose anything, so it's a good chance for you to just relax and get some nice flowing manes in there. Then we'll get the legs done. You can't really see the paw on this side, so it fades out. It's actually folded over on top of the platform that he's sitting. And then we have the other paw which is coming out of beneath the mane, which is hanging down there. And then we can get a little suggestion of the individual toes and claws. A nice big claw there. And then we have this back leg which is curved around the knee like so. A little bit of line to suggest the muscles and tendons, and then the back. That just disappears down here where it joins the tail, and the tail is lovely, long and curved, just draping over that platform. And you can just start to paint in the dark fur on the tip of the tail. All we need to do as far as the platform is concerned is just give ourselves a simple line to make it look like he's actually laying on something. And that's our initial black pastel sketch completed. Now that we've finished our black outline, we need to start adding some colour. Now, to begin with, the paper I've chosen is a sandy coloured paper. This is ideal for big cats, especially the lion, because it gives you that additional tone, so you don't need to worry about too many tones. What I've got here is an Ashby soft pastel, which is very good for velour paper because it's not too soft. And this is going to give us our darker brown tones in the lion mane. So just stroke using the side of the pastel, again in the direction of the fur. So bring it around like that. Always keep an eye on the photograph. Just look for where the darker brown tones are. You can already start to see that the paper itself is giving us the mid-tone browns, if you like. So make the paper work for you as well. And then make sure you leave quite a lot of empty paper in the mane. That'll give you a lot of texture, a lot of variation in colour. And then we'll pop a little bit around the muzzle, into the forehead, and just a touch around the face. The face itself is more of a grey brown, so we'll deal with that in a moment. Once you've done that, just give a little soft rub with your finger. Again, imagine you're stroking the lion's mane, and then all this lovely colour will start to merge and create a nice soft texture for you. And then working around here, we'll pop a little bit into the leg at the front, where it's darker on the left hand side. And this paw, there's a few dark sections, not too many. It's quite light, so mainly down the middle. Again, stroke it. And then the hind leg, kind of darker on the front, on the paw there. Another little stroke. And then down the back. The back is mostly this kind of dark sienna colour. So cover the whole lot. And then the tail, just flow out into the tail from the body. And gradually just fade it out before you get to the tip, because it's lighter on the end than at the base. Just check again, that should be plenty for the darker brown. So now we have two tones, a dark brown and a sandy brown. The next thing we need to do is start to put some grey in there. Again, this is an Ashby pastel, a mid-grey, and if we apply this very, very softly on top of the paper and the existing brown, particularly around the head and the face, you can start to get a grey-brown feel to the face. So apply it lightly and rub it in well, so you take most of it off, but just leaves a grey-brown surface. It's always better to apply pastel in light layers, and if you need more colour, then add. It's easier to add than to take away. So don't go in too bold. Be nice and soft. Imagine you're stroking the animal, and that's the kind of effect that we're after. And drop some of this grey down into the mane as well. That gives a sense of balance of colour overall. A little bit up into around the ears, and a bit for the shadow in the back. Because remember, shadows are cooler, so a little bit of grey will help to push those shadows back. And the same into the paws. Just hints of shadow here and there. And the same on this paw. Nice little grey touches where the paw's in shadow. On the back leg there. Rub it in well, let these colours merge together. What you won't do on velour paper is smudge it. You notice that you see all the initial black lines are still there, so I'm not smudging it. Velour paper will hold the pastel very well. And then bring some grey down into the tail. And that should be enough for the grey.